The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.
We will be focusing your attention on a specific business right now. Our reporter, Georgy Aronia, interviewed Payze.
Pitched as Stripe for former Soviet Union countries, Payze takes the region's fragmented payment solutions and unifies them into a single payment platform. Payze is so successful that within a short tenure since its launch, Payze won the competition organized by 500 startups and managed to get selected by the world's leading startup accelerator, Silicon Valley-based Y Combinator. Just recently, Payze announced a partnership with Caucus Auto Import, a company that in 2021 achieved a turnover of 1 billion GEL. Interestingly, there are only two companies in the world that sell cars online with the debit card, Tesla and Caucus Auto Import. The latter is executed via Payze's payment processing platform. Payze is one of the most successful Georgian technological startups. There is no doubt about it. Yet Payze is not only successful but has enormous potential. Would it become the first Georgian unicorn? Only time will tell us. Today I'll be talking with Payze's co-founders and co-CEOs Gega, Tsurtsumia and Kakha Gelashvili. Greetings, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to host you here.
Thank you.
Let's begin with the recent partnership you announced with Caucus Auto Import. How big of an opportunity is it for Payze?
First of all, thank you for having us, and good luck to this program.
Thank you.
It's interesting because partnership with Caucus Auto Import, which is one of the largest companies both in Georgia and the region, has been very interesting because it's a base for what we kind of preach. We're saying that we are here as a payment service provider to solve the problems that businesses have. And me and Kakha have always been preaching that, and we are trying to be on the front line to develop technological solutions in regards to financial technologies and specifically in payments in support to the needs that businesses are having. And what happened in the case of Caucus Auto Import was that after the war started in Ukraine, SWIFT transactions via bank transfers, let's say, were limited to control the cash outflow of the country. So Caucus Auto Import's one of the largest markets was Ukraine. Of course, due to war, the sales dropped for a bit, but in May they saw huge demand for second-hand cars. At that point, every transaction for every car couldn't have been processed via national bank, right? So they had issues and they had to go through different challenges how to accept the money so that they could deliver the cars to their buyers and dealers in Ukraine. At that point, we intersected and we provided a solution of link payments with which they can easily sell their cars via card networks, in this case Visa or MasterCard, which has not been limited. And this was a good case and in general case study how swiftly can a technological business support another very established and fast-growing business in this environment.
I wanted to ask about your expansion strategy. You mentioned Ukraine. How did the war affect your expansion strategy and your business in general?
Business-wise, it's an interesting case as well. We were talking about it. When we were in Y Combinator, our partners in YC, this was more than a year ago, were pushing us to go after Russia, after Russian market, because it was the biggest target market in our region, which we were targeting, the former Soviet Union. At that point, we selected Uzbekistan, which was third largest country in the region with highest potential of growth. And partners in YC were kind of disappointed because they wanted us to go for the largest market, but looking in retrospect, I think we made the right decision.
We got really lucky with our decision because because they were pushing us for the largest market in post-Soviet countries. Of course, we didn't want to go to Russia because we didn't have the resources to work there yet. But we could choose the second largest market, Ukraine. But saturation of Ukraine market pushed us to the emerging market, and we saw huge opportunity in emerging markets like Uzbekistan.
So what are your results in Uzbekistan? It's been several months since you began your operation.
Well, yes, so we started our licensing and company establishment procedures in September. By the beginning of March, yes, we were already live in Uzbekistan, and we are already serving our merchants there via local card networks and Visa, MasterCard international transactions. Because, for example, we have a very interesting case that largest flower delivery platform, largest flower shop of Tashkent is receiving payments through Payze, and people there are buying from international cards are processed by only Payze in Uzbekistan. Yes.
Was it difficult to find relative partners in Uzbekistan?
Well, for us to find a partner, for us, in our case, partner is a bank, local bank. So us being a Visa Everywhere initiative winner and Visa introducing us to the banks, it helped us very much, because it was like when we first time we went to meet banks in Uzbekistan, Visa organized for us meeting with every bank who had Visa and MasterCard acquiring, and we meet with them, and it took us 2 months to have our sub-acquiring agreement and start our operations there with bank.
Gega, how different is Uzbekistani market compared to the Georgian market?
People have a bit more trust issues, companies moreover, and we needed to work a lot on the side where we had the really strong presence in Georgia, but when you're dealing with other people's money and other companies' money, you need to establish more credibility there. You know, so what Kakha mentioned, partnership with Visa, having a strong partnership with National Bank, as well as different security programs we have gone through, as be it PCI DSS or other solutions, have helped us to establish the trust together with the bank partners that we have on local market. And numbers are already showing, yes, war played a role on our business development as well, and we didn't have growth in March, but it picked up in April again, and from May to June we had almost 200% growth as a business, to which Uzbekistan already played a good role as well.
So you just mentioned that you are saying no to the Russian market. Are there any alternatives that you are seeking?
Well, as I already said, we see big opportunity in emerging markets. So we are now in stage of, now we are already expanding to Kazakhstan. Mm-hmm. Kazakhstan, of course, is not emerging markets. There are fintechs there that work fantastically, but for us it's very logical because there are so many companies in Uzbekistan who want to expand their operations to Kazakhstan and vice versa. So our next market, we are seeing opportunities to go to Turkey, for example, to have this region and together, and Central Asian region together, or even Pakistan. Pakistan is very interesting market with a population of more than 220 million, and there is huge opportunity to create payment services.
What are your short and long-term goals in terms of exploring more markets? How many clients do you want to achieve, and what is the turnover that you're looking for?
Well,
I mean, this is interesting. I mean, we have a long-term goal of next 16 months to hit a total of $15 million in gross transaction volume, monthly gross transaction volume. We can publicly say this, and it puts another additional pressure on our backs, and if we contain the growth that we are at, of course not 200%, but somewhere in the range of 40-50% that we know is very sustainable for us, we will get there.
What are the main KPIs in your business in general, and how are you doing in terms of them?
Well, main KPIs are gross transaction volume, merchant distribution, what kind of partners we are serving, how many partners. It's not like that we are one solution for one company, but we are providing different kinds of tech solutions for many different kinds of businesses, and that's what we believe we strive in a lot. Revenue, of course.
And is a take rate.
Take rate, yes.
Take rate is very important, and we are always working to optimize it to have, because this is very low margin business, payment services, because there are so many stakeholders in the process of payment processing. So
and so many options as well. And one of the most important metrics which we are tracking and is very important for us, and something that we are very proud so far, is churn rate, which has been very low for us in single digits over the almost 2 years of operations.
What sort of clients do you work with? Do you work with usually startups and small to medium enterprises, or big companies as well?
We believe that for startups, we are the best partner because we have same mindset. We are always there for their support. We are a startup ourselves, and we have gone through a lot what other companies are going through, and we adapt very fast to their business needs. That's main point. So we could say that for our go-to-market, startups, we believe we should be 100% their solution. Now, SMEs as well, in many cases, prefer to work with us in most markets that we operate in. But the next stage for us, and we are already there technologically as well as customer support-wise, is to start serving the largest companies.
Enterprise clients.
Yes, tech companies as well. And Caucus has been a good validation for that as well.
And also when Gega says that we are betting on startups, it is a well-validated idea, because us being in Y Combinator, we had meeting with Payze founders, and they said that in India, when they kicked off their operation, right, there was no bank, no financial institution who were helping startups, and they betted that startups would grow, and we are also betting on that, so that when they become large in their operations, it will be us who will be processing their revenue.
Do you see yourself as competitors to traditional payment processing companies?
Who do you mean?
For instance, any Visa, MasterCard, any other companies?
No, for Visa, MasterCard, we are partners for their business development, because we do work for their business to grow in emerging markets, which is a big target for them. That's why we have been very close with both companies. But definitely, we don't even see ourselves as competitors to traditional banks.
Oh.
Because we believe that us working in specifically developing payment products for the success of the businesses also grows the market share of card penetration and card usage in e-commerce and online sphere, which are issued by the banks.
Because we are payment facilitators, we are not direct acquirers, and so we are facilitating payments of other banks and other traditional acquiring organizations. So we are expanding their business.
One of the most interesting aspects of your business that you provide is bill splitting. How revolutionary or how disruptive is it? And could you expand on what is the crucial point of it?
Well, it was not disruptive. Well, bill splitting was our one of first products Payze brought to the market, because every product we are building in Payze, it is our vision from the beginning, me and Gega, that we are always researching, we are seeing what customers need, what merchants need, and then implementing this kind of product. And bill splitting was a very hot topic 2 years ago when Corona hit. There were so many marketplaces emerging in our country that we saw everybody, 2- and 3-sided marketplaces need split functionality, because they could not scale their operations without automatical split of the transaction, because accounting took a really huge part of their operation. So we introduced this product with the help of National Bank, and they gave us permission to do split payment in Georgia, but it is also very popular in Uzbekistan. But there are so many other products which are more revolutionary. For example, we have one of the products which is catalog payment, Payze catalog. This product gives ability to people who don't even have website to start their sales online, right?
Yes, and we are promising 2 things to the businesses. One is our products are developed in line for their business to grow, or in case of splitting of automation of payment splits, in this case, save costs. So these are the major 2 promises for businesses that we are delivering on as we speak, because we have seen many businesses who switch with us who are using interesting products such as no redirect payments or using split payments. You see increasing their revenue due to conversion rate like step decreases by multiple points, like 20%, 25%.
In general, you just mentioned the mandate by the National Bank of Georgia. So could we expand on how is this whole field is regulated in Georgia and other countries as well?
Well, National Bank of Georgia is very open to collaborations. They are helping us really much, and every new product we are developing, we are always bringing this idea to the National Bank, and they are validating our money movement flow, information movement flow, and we are in close contact with National Bank.
Are national banks of other countries also so cooperative?
Well, we have experience of working with Uzbekistan, and they are in more learning phase. So they want to listen you what product you want. Of course, there are some regulations which they can't change, but they are open to changes if you are expanding business in their country.
Gega, last year, Payze became the first Georgian startup that became backed by Y Combinator, basically one of the best startup accelerators in the world. What was the Silicon Valley experience like? Was it like a dream come true?
Yes, I mean, we were just joking. I was in US in 2019. It was in May, and I was traveling to San Francisco, and we were already working on first version of Payze. It was still fintech, so it's still related to payments, but a bit different. And I just had on LinkedIn, it was like a reminder or like memory, you know, that in May of 2019, I wrote that one of my dreams in 2019-2020 was to get into YC. We missed it by 1 year, but we kind of manifested the idea, you know. So it was definitely a dream come true from that standpoint. But from practical standpoint, I think some of the biggest thing that we saw was that we like literally touched the guys who are founders of Stripe, Razorpay, Airbnb, etc. And it's just the best part was that they just told us that we are regular guys, you know, like we did it. Any one of you, like the batch, can do it as well, you know. So Kakha even had a very trick question to one of Stripe founders, which made him think twice, you know. So.
What was the process of getting into Y Combinator like? Because as I know, it wasn't as easy as it looks sometimes.
No, it even not looks easy. It is hard from the beginning to the end. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when they ask us like, how did you get in? We don't know how we got in, but we know that we had first interview, we got rejected. 6 months later, for next batch, we reapplied. We got to another interview. Then after that interview, they have two things, right? They tell you if it's a no, we will email you. If it's a yes, we will call you. So it's like time difference. So imagine that night you're not sleeping, right? So we were looking at the phone all the time, and we got third interview. So we were like, well, this is very rare. And finally, we got the interview with YC president. And before that interview, me and Kakha were like, it is what it is. We sipped a bit of alcohol just to relax, and then it's history.
But we also were feeling that it was our last try, maybe, because we were already at that stage that we thought that what could a more acceleration program bring to us, because we were already winners of 500 program of Georgia, and we thought that what could it bring? Let's try, but if it's not, we won't try anymore. But it was like game changer for us in every direction, being it experience-wise, which they shared, or validation in front of investors.
Gega, I've heard the story that you wanted to experience Y Combinator life so much that you were even willing to work as an intern there. Yeah. What was the story like?
At that point, Kakha had his company when we were working on the first version of Payze, and he had his commitments, and I was quitting my job at that time, and I was like, if we were not at acceleration stage, at that point we were not at acceleration level, so I was like, at least I'll get in as an intern and understand how it works, so that maybe in future when we are ready, we can. And I actually did apply not to YC, but to Techstars and some acceleration programs, and fortunately I didn't get in.
Yeah. I want to ask you about the type of investors that you have. Are they more individual, tech-oriented, or you have some institutional investors as well?
We have all kinds. I mean, we have several institutional investors who are able to back us all the way from like seed to IPO, who are funds, of course, very prominent funds. But we also have individual angels who we very specifically, I mean, they selected us and then we selected them as well, be it ex-head of engineering hire for Dropbox, who is amazing support figure for us, ex-COO of Venmo, and many other relevant people who bring very specific resources and knowledge to us when we need it.
Well, the last question I want to ask is, and I don't know any of you can answer, will Payze become the unicorn?
Well, that's the plan.
Yeah, I mean, we hope we can do, or we believe we can do IPO, you know, and it's our goal. But on the way, if being a unicorn is something, of course we will take it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys.
The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.